Dear friends, good day. My name is Dumitru Cioric, and today I am thrilled to host a special interview with our guest, Mr. Julien Ducarroz, the General Manager of Orange Moldova. Mr. Ducarroz, welcome.
Hello, thank you for receiving me.
First of all, let me congratulate you with the 10-year anniversary on the Moldovan market. How do you feel?
We feel very good. It has been 10 fantastic years that I'm going to share with you what we did and what we plan to do for the next 10 years.
Tell me more about the figures Orange Moldova has in its portfolio. How many clients do you have? And also I would be interested in insights about the clients of internet, the clients of voice services.
So today, after 10 years of Orange, we are very proud and happy to have more than 2.6 million customer, hopefully happy customer. It's hard to say exactly how much does it represent on the market, because there is debate around the figures, how many people. But for sure, it establishes us as a clear leader on this market, which we are very proud. I think the other figures that we have to have in mind when we are talking about people is as well what is behind Orange. And I'm very proud and always happy to be with them, my dear employee, which we are a family of 1,200 people behind Orange.
You mentioned about the real clients. When I try to sum up all the figures from all the telecom operators in Moldova, we have a higher number than the Moldovan population. So did you try to make an exercise and find out how many real clients do you have? Because 2.6 million, that is the total number of mobile phones connected with Orange.
Yes.
But how many unique clients do you have? Did you make such a survey, such a study?
No, it's difficult. Even so, now thanks to advanced technology, we are getting more intelligent every day, because the power of processing is allowing us to do much more complex analysis. But I think first of all, I want to say that you should not be surprised. Even if we could debate of what is the population which could help us to deduct how many the discrepancy between numbers are, but it's still a reality of the market, and myself, I'm part of it. But I'm sure you or some people around you still have two phones for various reasons, private, professional. One, sometimes they like to test two different operators. Sometimes they consider one is better for this, the other is better for that, which obviously it's normal, so it's not an anomaly, and you have many markets, what we call the double SIM effect. But still, I tend to believe that in the future, and we have seen now, there is two phenomena. There is a phenomena that some people are leaving the country, but there is a phenomena as well that people, they need less two numbers, because they are moving much more toward data. So the numbers itself, meaning the digit to identify you as a customer, is becoming less relevant. And what is becoming relevant is your identity on internet. Because as you know, if you have Facebook, you can connect for multiple devices, you are still only one Facebook. If you have two phones, you have two numbers. And people need to reach you differently. On Facebook, you can be reached on all the different media you are using, tablet and smartphone, television, computer. And
how do you think you could number the clients you would have in the future? Do you think of such opportunities to number them, to
I
find
think
out?
We will have 10 million clients in 10 years.
At Orange Moldova?
Yes.
That's 5 times more than the population.
Yes. And it's not just developed, because some people will wonder what I'm thinking if I believe that the country will boom. No, it's simply, I hope the country will boom, but what I'm sure, now we can debate the 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, but people will have much more connected objects around them in the future. I mean, today we are talking about, you have a phone, some people have a tablet, some people start to have some health band smartwatch, you name it. But this is the beginning.
Speakers,
Yeah, well,
devices at
you have
home.
some which are just Bluetooth and they will never be kind of our customer. But everything that has a SIM that connect to our network will be as a customer. So I don't think in the future we will talk about customer as person. We will talk about what is IP address connected to our network. And in the future you will see we will have a lot of connected objects from close.
So you could make the identification with the IP network, offering one IP per users.
Yes, but the client will have different objects connected, maybe through the same IP, but most likely not, because we need to have a unique numbers. But think about, tomorrow the car will be connected. When we are talking about the revolution in the car and the self-driven car, it will be as well, they have to be connected to the network, because without network they will not work.
Exactly. Mr. Ducarroz, if we have met 10 years ago, I would have asked you about your voice services. Now I am forced to ask
Maybe
you
SMS.
maybe SMS. Now I must ask you about the share. What is the share in your business of each service you provide?
Yes.
Because we face today a trend of high intensive data usage.
Yes.
So it's very interesting for me if you could offer us some insights about the data traffic, which is increasing a lot in the Orange network.
Yes. So I think we have to go back of the story of the 10 years in the sense of, yes, you're right, that 10 years ago we were talking about 2G. I don't remember exactly when it was, but there was maybe 2.5G, which was at that point was the first data services that was called the GPRS. Then we moved to 3G, 3G plus, and since 2012 for Orange Moldova, 4G. And you're right, what is now clearly there is no way back. It is the voice is year after year stabilizing, decreasing, and the data is huge. To give you a numbers, we are talking about 4 times more data on a monthly basis if I compare to last year. So we are living now on the telecom what we call an exponential revolution, which is happening in other domain, where basically, or sometimes it's called the law of Moore, that every 12, 18 months, it depends, you double, triple, quadruple, and what we see here is that for us it's an exponential growth, the data. And so this is driven, there is different factor. I think there is a demand. I mean, the customer themselves, they have the need. Some people have the dependency, or we can qualify differently, but there is obviously a huge need from the customer. But it is one side of the equation, because the other side of the equation is Orange is providing the fastest and the largest coverage of 4G. Because today, yes, 2.5 GPRS is a data services, but if today I put you 2.5, you will call the customer care and say the data is not working. And so it is due to, on one side, the demand of the customer, and the other side, the supply provided by Orange with this massive 4G network.
We will come back to the 4G a little bit later, but please answer me to one question, and maybe you could share us a secret. Which service brings the most money? Yeah. The internet or the voice?
No, today it's still a voice. We are
still the voice brings the most money.
Yes,
but what is the most profitable service?
Well, I mean, it's not about secret, because everyone who follows the industry, I mean, it's very difficult to say, because at the end of the day, we are providing a network and everything is going through the network. We don't have investment dedicated for data, dedicated for voice, but obviously it depends how far the data will go, because the problem of today, we have capacity of data, so you could say it's not so expensive. The problem is that what we see today is that we are giving more and more data for the same amount of money. So if I'm thinking long term, the voice is more profitable. Because what is happening with the data is that we have to invest in capacity, while the retail price has a tendency to go down. We always say in telecom, we love and we admire utilities company which are able to raise the price of their product depending on some formula of the supply.
You can't do that.
I would love to find this formula that they have to increase the cost of the supply, but the reality is that our costs are as well sometimes decreasing because technology is improving, and today I can offer 1 gigabyte much more efficiently than 5 years ago. There is no debate on this, but still, the pace of the growth of the customer.
Following the trends, at what interval of time you need to enlarge the capacities?
Every month.
Every month?
Not at a national scale, but our investment have been relentless for the last 5 years. Every year we invest around 20% of our revenue into the network. And when you look today, the majority of the investment go in the data. Because as we said, the voice is going to stabilize.
And mainly going into the capacity. Offering the capacity.
And as well backbone, because it's not only about having coverage, but it's as well about transport. You know, if you have more data, you need to transport this data. We are still doing some improvement on voice, but on a more, I will say, targeted, when you have new building, you know, a garage, these type of things. And as well, our network, you know, is evolving in function of the development of the city or the suburb. In the sense, sometime when you have a new building, you need to reconfigure your network because the building is, you know, crossing the coverage you have before. So, but still, the majority, more than 70% of our investment now, you can say it is data.
In data. Okay, thank you very much. I want to go further to another important topic. I would say it's very important for the Moldovan public. We have found out that in June this year, the roaming taxes in the European Union will be dropped off. So that's a great news for European Union, but Moldova, it's not a member yet. I was wondering, is there any chance that the Moldovan public could somehow benefit from this decision that the EU lawmakers have made?
I would say, from my perspective, even we see ourselves that due to the high price of roaming, which we know, it's preventing a massive adoption of these services on our network. So I will be the first one happy or even to support such a move. The problem is that you probably know that in roaming, we are not the one who set the price. I mean, yes, we are, but we are setting the price based on cost model. And the cost is fixed by the operator where you go, meaning that today if you go to Italy...
But you have a very specific situation because you have like your branch in Romania,
yes,
which is a member of
yes.
EU. I know that many of the activities of the campaigns of the strategy is coordinated also with Romania in package. So is there any method on how Moldova connects with Romania and get a cheaper price for the roaming telephony?
The problem here is that we had in the past this type of what we call preferred operator tariff. The problem is that you as a customer, it's very complicated if you go to Romania to know when you are on the Orange network or on Vodafone or on Telecom.
You just have to look on the phone.
Yeah, but do you think this is a customer experience that you would like to have, that every time before you do a data session?
I wouldn't like to have that, and I understand that you cannot force a client to choose an operator while he's in the roaming area. But if a customer is in the Orange Romania network, could he benefit from
No, and first of all, you have as well to understand in our group, like any group, each country is responsible for his result. So you imagine that even if we are a group, this is not happening. And what is happening as well in reality that we have seen, unfortunately, because the operator in Europe, all operator, Orange and other, because they have lost this source of revenue, what they have done, they have increased their price for operator coming to visit them from outside Europe. So us, what we did, because we didn't increase our price on roaming because we thought it were really high already. But I agree with you that there is a topic for us
this
as
would
an
be
industry.
an opportunity for you because we have like more than 1 million people working abroad, but they have relatives at home. They speak on regular basis, so you could think of a program of this issue. Otherwise, they would use the data services, the internet. So it's a win-win either way for you.
I know.
Okay, let's get back to 4G network. I have seen on your website that Orange Moldova states it has a 97% 4G coverage.
Population coverage. Yes.
Yeah, but how many people use actually 4G from the total number?
So today, out of our 2.6 million clients that I said we have more than 500,000 that today are active on the 4G network. I mean, you can say it's high, low. I mean, if I benchmark compared to other affiliate of Orange, considering the price, the income level, because when to be 4G, you need that your operator is providing you 4G, and you need as well to have a smartphone or a 4G capable phone. Which is not entirely depending on the operator, but as well of the willingness of the client to invest in such devices, which in Moldova, given the situation, the economical situation, is more difficult, I would say, less accessible than it could be in other country. So still, I mean, 500,000, and what I have to say is that last year we had this new brand positioning at the end of Q1, which we have as well used to reposition our services and to do what we had called at that time a data revolution, which means that every single customer at Orange Moldova is getting 4G activated at no additional cost. Meaning after, you still need to buy a 4G, but here we did as well kind of a big move last year is that all the smartphones that you will find in the Orange portfolio are 4G capable. Because when I arrived last year, one thing that struck me is that I said it's, I mean, it's not so good for the customer that we have invested massively on the best network, but we are still selling 3G handsets. So you are selling someone that you are not showing your best. And this we did last year. So now all our smartphones are 4G capable. All our subscriptions have data, and all our subscriptions have 4G. So now today a customer is going. That's why we have seen a massive increase, 500,000, and very soon will be 1 million.
500,000 use 4G. What is the prediction? I don't know, for the next 5 years. Probably we would have 5G in the meantime.
Yeah, but I think 5G. We are talking about 2020. 2021, it will depend on
so we have the last
factors.
Technology breakthrough technology right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting honestly that we will see 2G or 3G, one of the two technology, because at the end, what we will need, when you think, if you ask me what is 2G, 3G, and 4G, when we have only two services, voice and data, but we have three technology. So what we will need for the future is to keep one technology for voice,
and one for internet,
and one for data. Data is 4G. It's not 3G. It's 4G, and there is an ongoing debate whether our voice technology will be 2G or 3G.
Mr. Ducarroz, recently, actually very recently, Orange Group announced the launch of Orange Bank. I must say that I was personally very curious about this because I use a lot the mobile phone, I use all the new services. I've been in the EU countries and I've seen such services implemented by some local banks. And I enjoyed the experience. Do you have any plans for Moldova? Will the Moldovan public benefit from the Orange Bank also?
I mean, today I cannot give you a commitment when we will launch. What I can tell you is that we are working on it.
First of all, tell me what it consists of, and
I mean, it will consist of what we will be able to validate in terms of business model and regulation point of view. Now, if we look at what they are doing, what they will do in France this summer, and what could be applicable when I look at the Moldovan market, obviously here there is, for me, when I look with my team, there is an area of we have a big opportunity to facilitate the payment because today in the market, like in some other Eastern European country, payment is still an activity for the people where they are losing a lot of time, which this, I think, we have better things to do than to wait 1 hour to pay your utility bills, to have problem whether they accept, they do change, So here there is an opportunity that I think this will be easy. The problem with this is not how you make money in financial services. So this will be more a way for me to attract volume and to gather people around our services. And then you go in more value-added services of bank or financial services, where I see clearly there is a role to play for us in credit. Because first we have a lot of knowledge on the customer, and as you probably know, when you do business of credit, your main, I will say, engine is the scoring, in the sense of what risk you are willing to take by granting money to someone, which is based on how you score the customer. And this us, with our data, with our knowledge of how their customers are paying their invoice, we have a lot of insight. So this is an area. There is as well remittance, because as you know, it's quite a big business due to the diaspora outside Moldova, which today it's still an industry that have very high commission. So we believe, thanks to technology, we can disrupt this. So I think that that are the main area, and at the heart of everything for us, it will be a digital experience. I mean, we are not going to enter in a classical way, following the path of a traditional bank. No, we will enter the market by disrupting today experience, by moving to the new financial services, and we are not going to compete directly on the old one. This is not.
So you want a new business model?
New business model, and I think what is the most important, new disruptive customer experience.
And you
thanks to the mobile phone.
And you don't know yet how will they be implemented, but for sure you know that there will be credit part. And
there will be a component of credit. There will be a component of payment, because payment is still, if today you want to solve a problem of customer today, which is kind of big for a lot of people, you start with payment. Because today it is really a poor experience for client to pay their bill. Then you have the credit, because it's a business. We have as well potentially the possibility to offer a smartphone in order to adopt new technologies thanks to a good credit condition. And you have as well the remittance of money, sending from abroad, this. But again, for me, it will be based on disrupting a customer experience, and it will be centered on the mobile phone. So it's not about classical branches.
I understand. Thank you very much. In the second semester of 2016, Orange Moldova has acquired Sun Communications, an internet provider in Moldova. What is your plan with this company? Will it work as a separate brand in the future? Do you plan to incorporate it in the Orange Internet services? Please tell me more about this.
Yes, so obviously we are following what we believe is the strategy that we have established already a few years ago, and my predecessor did this, and it is as well a pan-European strategy of Orange, in the sense of we believe, and we have seen in more advanced countries that this is happening, is that we need to offer convergence services. When we say convergence services, it is a service that is answering a household client, meaning a family, whether it's a single person or a couple with kids, living on an apartment or a house, to serve them with a package that answer all their communication needs. And when I say communication, I'm talking about mobile, I'm talking about fixed, and I'm talking about television. And so this is to have one single experience under one package, one invoice, one customer service, and we address all the client need with this. So the reason we bought Sun Communication last October was because we were missing the fixed access to the client. We are providing 4G, but if you want to provide television and very fast internet on a constant basis, economically, and you have a massive adoption, the mobile technology is not adapted to this. Maybe 5G.
I understand.
You know.
You can't confirm my thought, but in the future I understand that you will have Orange Internet and not Sun Communications.
Yes, that was your second part of the question. So the first part was what are we going to do and how are we going to do? Yes, so we are going to plan for the second part of this year to launch a single product under the brand of Orange. And why we don't do that faster? Because until now we have been busy to consolidate the network of Sun, to expand the network of Sun, and we have forecasted that we will reach a good level of quality, which we believe is the Orange standard, somewhere in the second part of this year.
Okay, so my thoughts were correct. What is the share of Sun Communications now on the market?
I mean, they have two.
For the internet.
They have internet and TV. On TV, they are very strong. Historically, they have quite a big base, based on two technology, analog and digital. So they have a strong base, more than double-digit market share, and in the fix, they are a bit below 10% of market share of fix. Tracing behind the main two competitors, which are Multe and Starnet.
And on the internet?
On internet, I think. On TV, they are number two. We are number two.
Number two on TV,
yes,
and
number
10%,
three, four on
10% on the internet. Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Ducarroz, how do you see Orange in the next 10 years? I've asked you this before our live interview, but I would like to hear that.
Yes, so
again.
I think again, it's a very difficult exercise, but I would say what things are for me personally, and I conduct the company that way, is that everything will be connected in the future. That's why I made this provocative statement of 10 million clients. Whether it will be 10, 20, I don't know, but there will be much more clients. There will be we will not talk about physical person, we will talk about object, machine, devices, but there will be a lot of devices. So that's one statement. The other statement is that connectivity will be everywhere, in the sense of, and the customer will most likely not feel anymore distinction between fixed and mobile. They will be connected all the time. So that's why it's important to have fixed technology, because at the end of the day, the fix is as well the transport, and you need to have a big pipe to transport this data. And as well, what will be the role of Orange that I see playing in the future is obviously to provide the best connectivity, and there will be value in this. Not only about connectivity, but about secure connectivity. Because as you can imagine, if everything is connected, then you have the question, what happens if
somebody breaks the system?
Yes, if someone hijack your data, your health, your whatever, you name it. So that will be very important. So that's one basis. Then there will be as well all the topic, and I think this is where you will see the operator that will differentiate themselves is around data privacy. For me, it's obvious that if we want to build a trusted relation with our client, and that they will understand that there is a value of having a secure connectivity, is not only about securing to be attacked, but it's as well securing not to expose the data of the client. So that's another very important element. And what we are working on our group, and we benefit from this power of our group, there is obviously everything related with intelligent artificial and machine learning. That is a topic that we are working a lot on it, because it will impact directly our network, in the sense of we believe that the network will become virtual.
So you are already working at software or machines that work on this programmatic...
yeah, I mean, a few days ago there was, I will say, the annual show of our president in France, where he revealed to the public in France, but this will come later on in different markets. It needs adaptation, but Orange has launched a competitor to Alexa and Google Home, which are a personal assistant based on intelligence artificial and machine learning to be an assistant to someone.
Mr. Ducarroz, thank you very much. We have come to an end with our interview, but I have one last question. If you look back into the past, and you would have to start again the business with Orange 10 years ago, what would you change?
I think we did pretty good, at least in Moldova. I think when we see the result, it will be maybe a bit arrogant to say I will do something different, because we have been very successful. We are very successful, and we will continue to be very successful. I think if I could change is obviously now, if we look at the total value of the market, obviously there is new players that are not like us. I'm thinking about Google, Amazon, Facebook, all those guys that, if we could have at a Europe level, it's not Orange Moldova, it's about, as a Europe,
try to develop an international...
to have invented one or two of those unicorn, I would have loved that Orange to be a part of this. I think one point we didn't mention, but I really feel the need to share before we finish the interview, is that we talk about client, we talk about employee, but there is another, for me, very important point that I'm personally very involved in this, is our foundation, Orange Foundation, which, when you were asking me some juicy number, I will share with you a good one, one that I'm very proud, and all the employees are very proud, is that if we look back in our history of the Orange Foundation, which has more than 7 years of activities in Orange Moldova, we have helped 1 out of 10 person thanks to the Orange Foundation, which the Orange Foundation is driven by fund given by Orange. And I do believe personally, and this is as well our group believe, that it's very important when we are a company the size of Orange, that we are giving back to the society. And here I'm personally very involved in a digital project around education, and to make sure that we are not creating a divide between people who have access and those who don't have access. So we are investing.
Working to connect everybody.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mr. Ducarroz, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Hope to see you in the nearest future again in our studio.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was all for today. See you next time.